Good morning and welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner here on the Highliner Activity Network on this Thursday morning. Another beautiful day in the city of Bridges, and we're going to kick things off today with boys tennis. Coach Matt Nielsen from the Highliners joining us. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Doing good this morning?
I think so. I got my coffee and we're ready to rock.
Ready to rock. You know, I think next week I'll have to bring donuts. I'll have to bring some pastries for us next week. Busy week since the last time we have chatted. I think 3 matches, South Minot and Grand Forks Central. Let's start with Fargo South. Another tough one that came down to the last match.
Man, it was a lot of fun. Last year we had tight matches with them too, and this year it was the same thing. We came out and played some good doubles, and we knew their 1 and 2 were pretty. They were pretty tough, but then from 3 on down, we had a good shot to win, and then in doubles we needed to snag at least one of them, maybe 2 of them, and we did everything we could. Kellen Westman got his first ever varsity singles victory. Last year he was kind of thrown to the wolves because he was JV as a freshman, and then as a sophomore he was our number 2. So going from JV to number 2, like in the EDC, right. it's tough. So he didn't get a win last season, but in singles. But he got his first EDC win, so that was pretty exciting for him, and he did it by playing in the right way, and he actually had to save a match point at 9-8 in the super tiebreak.
Okay.
Won that point, won the next couple points to then win the match, so it was in dramatic fashion as well, and by winning that match, he set us up at 4-4, and then gave Cole Haugen a shot in the super tiebreak as well, and Cole gave it his all, but couldn't pull out the win, and Kellen was a great teammate after that, and we had a good talk about that, going, man, we were putting ourselves in the right positions, we're doing well, and Kellen really supported Cole after that, and Cole gave the breakdown, and he's excited for it, so like Cole fully understands that the team has his back and that we believe in him, and he's going to win those points here coming up.
Do the guys know when that did he know it was 4-4 and it was on his shoulders or not?
I've never as a coach ever really told the kids to score, because I always say you can't control the match. You can't control the end of your match. You only can control yourself and what's going on right now and this current point. So it doesn't even matter. Like we said, Noah Tulp was down 0-5 in the second set. He just kept hitting the ball in. And he didn't worry about the end of the match. He just kept hitting the ball in. Well, good, like 1 point strung into a bunch of points, strung into a bunch of games, and he ended up winning the match. So we don't want kids to be like, oh my gosh, it's 4-4. If I lose it, then the whole team loses. No, because now you're focusing on things you can't control. You only can control yourself right now, and you can control your effort on this point right here. So I never tell the kids if we're up, we're down, it's tied. No, you need to control what you control.
They lose their concentration that way because now they're thinking about 2 things: their match and then overall.
What's going on?
Just worry about that one thing. What's in front of you right there.
And the phrase I use is if you control what you can control yourself. The match results will take care of itself. You don't need to worry about that. If you control what you can control, then the score takes care of itself, and that's what we preach.
Well, then you had Minot come in, and they are a good team.
Oh my goodness, both Minot and Central are pretty good. So we got probably 5 teams this year that are really good, that all have a shot to take the state title, and I would say Minot and Central are definitely 2 of them. And we got to play them both back to back. So we got to see Minot on Friday, and Minot watching their net play. Oh my goodness, like their rackets really still, they're in the right spot, and the crazy part is that they're right on top of the net when they hit those volleys, and it was like they've been there, done that. They've been in the big matches last year. They didn't really graduate anybody. Their number 1 player, actually, sorry, they did graduate one. Their number 2 last year was in the state championship with their number 1 player in the doubles, and they looked good. So they're going to have a really good matches against Cheyenne and Red River and Central. And then so we played them, and it was actually a really good day. Our guys had great attitudes, and we looked like tennis players out there. They didn't blow us off the court. We were in all the points. The scores might not say that. It was 6-1, 6-2, or whatever. But our kids were in each point, which made it a lot of fun, and the guys kept their attitudes up, which made it so that way they learned a lot and they got better because of Minot. And that's what I said. I said, hey, again, don't worry about the end result of this Minot match. I go, you want to come off and say, I am better because I was on the court today. And they all were able to say, you know, Coach, I got better because I was on the court today. Especially Matthew Holm had a really competitive match. We did 2 6-3 lineups. One was a varsity, one was a JV. So we only played 6 in the varsity. So Matthew Holm actually got to bump down to 1 doubles on the JV. But he had a singles match there against Wrestler, and he was the only one to pull out a set. But the thing is that when he was out there, we talked about, I go, hey, we need to do 3 things better and you can control it. And I go, if we do that, we're going to be in more points. And he executed. One of them was he was going lateral on his return.
Okay.
Which puts it short.
Yeah.
Or you hit it out. I said, you need to cut it off. You need to go forward into it and cut off that return. That'll make it more solid. He started doing that. On his approach shots, he needed to set his feet. Mm-hmm. And I forget what the third one was in the moment. But anyway, there's 3 things. He started executing all of those, and he ended up winning the second set. So we felt that going, wow, you know what? If I execute what coach is telling me, it's going to help me win points. So he did amazing, and he was the Ivy Real Estate Player of the Game on that one.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
So that was great for Matthew. And then on Tuesday, we went to Grand Forks Central. Last year's defending state champion. They have the single state champion that's still there. It's nice seeing a 12 by his name now. So now he is a senior, so he's going to be gone. But Central is still really stacked. And I look down the lineup, and they're all juniors. So I mean, they're going to be good this year. They're going to be good next year. And we had some really competitive matches against them. The number 3 doubles, Cole Haugen and Noah Tulp. Those 2 did really well, and we're going to put them in the lineup today against West Fargo. And then Colin and Kellen, rough first set, but they played a pretty good second set. And then at 1 doubles we had Miles and Quinn, and the Central kids are amazing, but Quinn held his own. Like, I was worried about it because Quinn has been playing 3 doubles for us this year, and he hasn't really been hitting the ball that hard. We put him in 1 doubles, and I go, man, this is kind of trial by fire. But man, they rocketed some balls at Quinn. He volleyed them right back. They had some ground strokes that were deep to him. He stepped in and hit them. So I was extremely impressed that Quinn held his own at number 1 double. So that's going to be our lineup today against West Fargo. So today, West Fargo, I think. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if they beat Wapton or not. I forget. But anyway, we got them today.
Yep.
And looking at play-in scenarios that you're looking at it, that it looks like it's probably, I think 3 that'll be there, and it's because we already had a loss to Shanley and a loss to South, but the 3 I think that'll be there for sure is going to be Wapton, West Fargo, and us.
Okay.
So we got West Fargo today, we got Wapton next week, and if we can find a way to win those, we get to host a play-in game, which would be huge compared to
hitting the road.
Hitting the road. So today's going to be a fun match. It should be a big match. We did get West Fargo in the quad. We beat them in the quad. We beat WAP in the quad. So can we keep that confidence, and can we keep moving forward and get the win today?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock today, yep.
First serve today, and another beautiful day up at the North Courts. And you were talking about Miles Taylor. I wanted to mention these last 3 matches with South, Minot, and Central. He has seen some really good players at number 1. How has he reacted to that, playing some of the top kids in the state?
He's done really well, and he's done better than what he thinks. So he comes off the court and feels down because he loses. Like, he lost to Wilbur, I think 0-3 or 1-3. Oh my goodness, he took 3 games off of the state champion. And I told him flat out, I go, Miles, you realize if I went on that court and played him, there's no way I'm getting 3 games.
Right.
So I go, you are playing some fantastic tennis, but I think sometimes kids get a little, like, look at the scoreboard afterwards and go, gosh, I lost again. And it's like, you can't, I mean, like we always say, you can't control a lot of things. And you know what? You can't control your opponent. And at the end of the day, you're not even controlling if you win or lose a match. You only can control yourself right here. And you did a great job of stepping into balls. And, man, he when Miles got pulled off the court, he did a good job of deciding, am I going to hit a recovery ball?
Okay.
Or am I going to try to smack a winning shot?
Sure.
And like the decisions he made on the court, I thought were excellent decisions. Like he came off after a deuce point in which he smacked it out. But I came over and I go, hey, nice job. He goes, I just lost the game. And I go, no, you made the right shot. Yeah, it didn't go in.
Right.
But I go, looking at that point, you played it like you should have. Like it wasn't a decision you made. It wasn't. It was just. You went for it, and it went out, and you did everything right, and it's okay because you made the right decision. Let's keep moving forward, and you're playing the state champion. Come on now.
You do that against someone else, it goes in, and you get a point, and you win.
And you win it, right? And so I think, and so today against West Fargo, so a big thing against Central, when you get down to the milk and honey of tennis, it's can you hit the ball in? Can you get it deep so that way your opponent can't control the point? They can't attack it. So that's kind of the milk and honey. So yesterday we spent a lot of time going, against West Fargo. Big thing is make sure you get that ball in, make sure you get it deep, and then you can attack, and we call it patiently aggressive. So can we stay patiently aggressive? Don't hit it too big, too fast.
Sure.
Don't play neutral, play neutral,
Right,
play neutral.
right.
Now you get a shot that you can maybe give a drop shot on, or you can angle it on approach and then come in, but don't go too fast, because if you go too fast and hit aggressive too soon, you're the one making errors, and tennis is a game of errors,
Yeah.
not a game of winners.
You hear those unforced errors. You want
All
to
the time.
eliminate the unforced errors.
Yes, and we did that yesterday, and I had a drill where they had to, if they made an unforced error, they had to stop and say why it was, like what they did to make an unforced
Okay.
error, and just to prove how many they hit out. So we did that for a few minutes, and we came back together, and they were like, yeah, we were talking a lot. And I go,
We're talking way too much.
we're talking way too much, and I go, perfect. That's all I wanted to show you guys,
Yeah.
is just to get you in your head that, hey, you know what, we gotta limit the errors if we wanna win points.
All right, big match today with the West Fargo Packers, but the North Court's beginning at 4 o'clock. Let's get a W here.
Yep, we're gonna try for that one, and then tomorrow we have 2 matches. So we got Minot
Yep.
North here at 9 a.m. in a 3-2
Okay,
lineup.
yep.
And that should be a very competitive match.
Right.
Mandan is one of the 5 teams that can win it, so that's gonna
Okay.
be tough. When their top 2 is just they're unreal, but they're gonna be fun to play, and that'll be 11 o'clock at home. And then this weekend we have the West Fargo Invite in.
Yep.
At Cheyenne, and it's actually at 9 different court sites. So like there's a 1 through 6 singles flights, and if you're the 1 singles, you're at a court site and you're playing a tournament versus every team in the state.
Okay.
If you're the 1 doubles, you're at a different site playing
Okay.
against all the other 1 doubles from the state in 1 tournament. So it's a huge tournament, and you
Sure.
can play 4 to 5 matches if you keep winning, and it's just a great experience for everybody. And then the East sees the West, West sees the East. It's just a good prep for the region and state tournament.
Good barometer of where the strength's going to be.
Yep, that is. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. Kids enjoy it, and we didn't set our lineup up to try to win anything. We set it up to help us out come region time. So if you see the highlights of it and you're like, hey, the highlighters didn't even place in one.
Right.
It's fine. We did
Right.
not set it up to win a specific flight. We set it up so that way when we get to a 3-2 lineup, Miles is ready, Colin's ready,
Okay.
Kellen's ready. So we had one.
A different mindset.
Yeah, I mean, of course you want to play the
Yes.
tournament to win,
Right.
but we didn't stack our lineup
Sure.
to win, which you know what, in the end, winning this tournament or getting points in this tournament means nothing.
Right,
What means
right.
something is, can we knock somebody off come regions?
Exactly. All right. Well, Coach, a busy week coming up. Look forward to talking about it next week when we're on the show. And good luck here with today, West Fargo, 4 o'clock at the North Courts.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. That is Matt Nielsen, the head tennis coach from the Highlanders. Back with more Coaches Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here in Coach's Corner here on the Highlander Activity Network, and as we, of course, moved our time, we used to be, of course, Wednesday night, so now here at 7:30 on Thursday morning. So that means we got our teachers and our coaches that are kind of getting their students ready, kind of getting things organized for the day. So we're waiting for Coach Clabo to join us here and talk a little volleyball. Speaking of volleyball, that is coming up tonight as it's the home opener, and we'll talk a little bit more about that with Coach Clabo as they take on Devils Lake. And we'll have, of course, C Squad, Junior Varsity, and Varsity. That gets started, about 4:30 with the C Squad, and then the Junior Varsity around 5:45, and the Varsity at around 7:15 tonight. And then, of course, the big volleyball tournament coming up here at the Hack this weekend, as the Highlanders will have some Class B teams coming in, more teams that they're going to see next year with the 3-class system. And so we will have, that'll be coming up this weekend as well. So again, just to see what we have coming up here on the Highlander Activity Network, just go to our YouTube page and you can search Valley City Highlander Activities, and that will give you a lineup of everything that we have coming up on the Highlander Activity Network. We'll be back with more Coach's Corner from the Hack here on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here in the Coach's Corner, and cross country is joining us now, Coach Deb Bilkey from the Highlanders. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Only one meet, and it was more of a duel here since the last time we chatted. You went over to Jamestown, and I was talking to Trish Fennick at the football game on Friday night, and she said it went pretty well. A lot of PRs for both boys and girls on Friday.
Yeah, Friday was almost opposite of our Tuesday meet. Tuesday was hot and humid and hilly, and Friday was almost a perfect day for us.
Yeah.
It was low 70s and sunshine, and it was really a good day. There were about half the athletes got their season best, and we had a couple of big ones. Elijah Drummond, he's been in cross country. This is his 4th year, and he PR'd by 42 seconds,
Wow.
which is huge. For an athlete that's been around for a while.
Right.
And so, yeah, it went really well. It's nice to have, like this week, we've had the whole week off. We don't have a meet till Saturday, so we can kind of get back to the basics again and do some heavy-duty training. They always say we just grind it out, but we do some heavy-duty training, get over some little minor injuries that they have and so forth.
With I can't remember if it was the JV girls or the varsity girls, but you had, I think, 5 out of the top 6 spots or 4 out of the top 6. You had a really good grouping in one of those.
Yeah, Jamestown ran most of their girls in the varsity race,
Okay.
so there weren't many in there, but the ones that we did have run the JV, they had some really pretty good times in there, and we had the top, I think, it was 5 places, but
Right.
but again, they were competing against each other, which was kind of fun to see too.
Right.
And then when we were over there too, they ran the boys and the girls together.
Okay.
And so it was kind of fun for some of those girls to try to beat a boy too, or the boys tried to beat the girls and so forth. So that was fun to see too.
Anybody that surprised you on Saturday that you felt, well, that's we can keep progressing with that?
Right. On Friday?
On Friday,
Yeah.
on Friday.
Yeah, there were kind of a lot of surprises because not only did they do some of their season's best, but they look good out there.
Right.
You know, they look strong, they look confident, they finish strong. Sometimes you see runners when they finish, they're about ready to crawl off the course, but they finish strong. A lot of them say that they like that course. They did before.
Yeah.
And with the 3K runners, it's a pretty flat course. And then the 5K runners have the big hill at Parkhurst.
Okay.
There's a big hill that goes down to the water and then comes back up again. But we live in Valley City, we got hills.
You know that.
Yeah.
And running the state course, too. How was important of that? Because they get that 2-3 times before the state in October.
Right, so the older kids, the kids that have been out for cross country in the past have run that course quite a few times. And again, it is a park, so they can go there anytime they want, and the trails are always groomed. So,
Okay.
you know, in the summertime, some of the kids just go over there because it's kind of fun to get away from Valley City.
Okay. And you said coming up Saturday now. What's on the horizon here? Is it the Bill Jansen coming up Saturday, or is that next week?
Next week.
That's next week. That's right.
Actually, in the next 8 days, we have 3 meets. So
Okay.
we got a pretty good schedule going on. And then plus on top of it, homecoming activities. So,
Right.
but to start with, on Saturday, we go out to McDowell Dam. It's near
Yep.
Bismarck.
Yeah.
And there's quite a few teams out there. It's kind of fun to go out there because then you see some of the West runners, and you get to run against different competition and you see different people,
Right.
rather than the same people all the time in the races. But it is a fairly flat course. And it's one that colleges run because I know last weekend Reaganburg ran there.
Yeah.
So that's NDSU ran there last week, but they have a lot of races out there. So it's a good cross-country course.
And seeing the West runners too, how important is that too? Maybe just to get a vibe on what you have out West.
Yeah, it is important. There's some very good runners out West. Yeah, the West is pretty strong this year.
Okay.
But like I said, again, it's fun to see different competition, just different faces at the starting line, and
Right.
and as you're running and so forth. It's just something that's a lot more fun for the kids than always the same old people all the time.
Because you're like, oh, you
Yeah,
again?
yeah.
And because you probably know their tendencies.
Right.
And granted, you're running against a clock too, and you're just running against the course, but you kind of know how that person runs and
Correct.
and what their tendencies are. And then Tuesday, I'm assuming, would be your next meet before Saturday again.
Yes, then on Tuesday we turn around and we go to Castleton, which is a short little drive, but if you've ever been to the golf course over there, it is flat.
Yeah.
It is
Yep.
flat. It is a spectator-friendly one because they do a lot of zigzags, and so you can see the athletes a lot. And it's usually a pretty good race for us, and
Sure.
it's not real huge. And then we turn around on Saturday after all the homecoming activities, and we have our Bill Jansen race out at Bjornson. And that one, kids always say it's tough. The course may look flat out there, but when you run, there's a lot of inclines, there's a lot of hills, a lot of ups and downs, but it's a tough course. But the kids like running at home. And they're going to do something different because on that meet, we don't have a 3K.
Okay.
Okay, so we will start with the boys 5K, and then the girls 5K, and then all the rest will run a 4K.
Okay.
I always think that's such a good test for the athletes because, we've been in cross country 5-6 weeks. It's a good test to see if they're ready to bump up another 0.62 miles.
Okay.
And to see, if those kids are ready to bump up to the varsity or if they're comfortable right where they're at.
Okay. And you see a lot of teams come from all over for the Bill Jansen.
I think right now we have about 25 signed up.
Okay.
From Class A to small,
Yep.
3-team. Yeah, so
Okay.
that's one nice thing about cross country. You can bring 2 runners or you can bring 50.
Yep.
Your team score is not going to be very good, but you're just competing individually against each other.
Sure. Okay. Well, Coach, I appreciate you joining us as usual again, and Saturday in Bismarck at the McDowell Dam, and should be Bill Jansen's always fun because I get a chance to get in the golf cart and kind of follow the runners, and that's always a fun meet too.
Yeah, that one is fun. A lot of people like it because of what they're running on is
Yep.
it's nice plush grass.
Yep.
Instead of sidewalks like we're used to or the roads that we're used to. But you should come out, and admission
Absolutely.
is like $5 to get in. It's pretty cheap to get in.
yeah.
It's good entertainment. There's usually some good concessions there.
Yep.
So
Yep. And it's going to be a beautiful day. I already
Yeah.
can tell.
yeah.
All right, Coach, appreciate it. Thanks much.
All right, thank you.
You bet. Coach Deb Bilkey joining us from the Highlander Cross Country. Back with more Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner here on the Highlander Activity Network, and we scoot over to the football team. Travis Engen, head coach of the Highlanders, joining us. And a pleasant morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
I know I was supposed to bring donuts, but, strike one on the announcer.
Well, maybe Rain ate them all.
She didn't. No, I think she's smart. She eats healthy. I don't think she would do that. I guess question number one, did you see with the Devils Lake game improvement there from week 1 to week 2?
Oh, yeah, there's always going to be big improvement, from 1 to 2. And so there were some good things that occurred in that game. We came out a little slow again in the first half, but second half I thought we played really well. Mm-hmm. There's still always little things we got to improve on, which we worked on this week. So,
and it's becoming a rivalry with Devils Lake and Valley City, and things got interesting there for a little bit, but cooler heads prevailed, and it was still a real good football game.
Yeah, it was. It was a good football game. We came out on the short end of that, but we matched up pretty well with them. They had, their 10th through 12th graders. They got 55 kids, and so that showed up in the second half, which is going to show up a lot for us, and our players know it. Mm-hmm. We just got to fight through that. It's just one more hurdle we got to overcome with our lack of depth.
Looked like the offense made some improvements as well and moved the ball a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, there was a lot of improvements from week 1 to week 2. Week 1 we came out a little slow, real slow actually. And week 2, I think they kind of figured it out. We got some young guys playing positions all over the place, and they got to understand the speed of the game's a little bit different, and you got to go on every play and everything. So yeah, there was improvement. The O-line did play it a lot better. The wide receivers ran the routes better. We got to clean it up, right? Football's that 11-man game. One person makes a mistake, it gets glaring. And so that's what we talked about this week was just we got to understand that we got 11 guys. Everybody just do your job, and we'll come out, we'll be fine.
And I think the game could have taken a good turn for the Highlanders. I can believe it was in the first half. I think it was Jameson Munchler. It was on the Devils Lake sidelines. If he comes up with a pick, that's a pick 6, and it's an entirely different ball game.
Exactly right. Like I said, it's an old cliche, but it's a game of inches.
Yeah.
It really is. And even when we run some of our plays and we're just a little off. And we got to clean that up, and that's why we watch film and show the kids film and go, look, we're there.
Right.
We're just just a little off here or there, and it's stuff that they can clean up, stuff they can do. So. And
you got an athletic quarterback. You like to have an athletic quarterback, but you don't want to see him running a lot because a lot of things could happen. But he picked up some yardage, and Bryson Heck did a nice job.
Yes, he did. Yep. He moved really well this past week, and so. It really helps us. He can extend a play, extend a drive with his feet and everything. And so that was nice to see him do that.
And he had some nice passes. Derek Shape had a couple of nice catches. So there was a lot of positives coming out of this game.
Yeah, there really was. Like I said, it's there.
Yeah.
We just got to eliminate the mistakes in between.
And I will bring it up, but those 15-yard penalties hurt a little bit. There was a few, but it's aggressive. That's an aggressive thing, isn't it?
Yeah, we talked about that at halftime and stuff, that we do got to be more aggressive, but between the lines, and between the whistles and stuff like that. And so we got some unnecessary roughness calls against us and stuff, and like I said, it was aggressiveness. Just we got to keep it between the lines.
It's a physical game.
It is, and that's part of that learning curve. You get frustrated in a physical game, right, or any game for that matter. But you do get frustrated. Okay, you got to, that's that maturity or that experience that's got to come through and go, okay, all right, we got next play.
Yep.
And then I'll get after him then. So
Wapaton next. Very good Husky team coming up on the road.
Yes, yeah, they got probably one of the better players in the state. He's fast, the number 44, the mock boy, and so it's something that keeps us up at night and try to figure out how to stop him, because at any time he can break it. We can corral him, and then he can break loose and stuff like that. So, once again, it goes back to, what we talk on defense all the time is just stay your gap, do your job, and don't worry about filling other people's gaps. Just stay your gap, and we'll be okay. We really will be. So get a little more aggressive. They love running counter and then some counter and then some more counter. And so
A couple more counters.
yeah, a couple more counters, and then they can throw off of that. And they do a real nice job, definitely on offense. And they do. They got other weapons, but they like 44. I mean,
Yeah.
who wouldn't? And so it's something that we've, kept our eye on, of course, all week with stuff. But yeah, really what we got to do on defense is nothing special. We just stay your gap. Don't start thinking I'm going to go make a play. Just control your gap because he's going to cut it back. He's going to run through. You'll be fine. Just stay your gap. So.
How about offensively? What are you going to? What they threw something defensively? Any weird or?
Yeah, well, they like to blitz.
Yeah.
They come out with that 3-4 look, but they're always bringing 4. So it's really a 4-man front. They'll put 3 guys down with their hand in the dirt, but they're bringing 4, and of course they're going to bring 44 a lot. Because he can disrupt and everything. So they're definitely bringing 4, if not 5 guys on every play. So that's once again kept us up. The offensive coaches, we sat there and said, okay, how can we pick it up? How can we pick it up?
Yep.
And so I feel like we've done a nice job. The old line's really gelled and worked together this week, and we've just really repped a lot on how to pick up their blitzes and who's the 4th man coming. That's the idea behind the 3-4. You don't know who the 4th man is all the time, let alone a 5th man, and that's kind of what 3-4s love to do. Which is great, which is fine, but our O-line communicates well. Yesterday was a great practice for them. I thought they did a really good job.
Well, I'm not a coach, and so I'm not going to, tell you how to do your job.
Good,
good. But I am going to say this: a play that I used to see a lot at Moorhead State when Ross Fortune was running the veer, the tight end pop over the middle. You tried that here against Devils Lake with big Jack Dieterle. You've got a guy that's probably going to be taller than most of those D-backs. And with blitzes, maybe that you think that middle might be open a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely in the playbook, and something we run, and it's been in there since day one, when you got, and then Parker Amon is also about 6'3" or whatever he is. So both those guys, and, on the one touchdown, that's what it was. It really was. The play was throw it up high, Jack, you out jump, and you come down with it. And we got a better name for that, but that's really what it is.
That's what it is, a jump ball. Yeah.
It's a jump ball to both those guys. They both play basketball. They know how to box out. And so, yeah, they're both those guys can be weapons with that. Yeah, so we got the old school pop pass, I guess is what you want to call it. We got a different name for it, but it's a pop pass.
We won't say what it is.
Don't matter, but it is. It's a pop pass.
Yeah,
definitely.
All right, well, let's get back on the road, and Wapanen. Of course, we'll worry about homecoming next week and all the fun things there. But Wapanen is the next important game, and that's coming up tomorrow night.
Yeah. It will be a game. We're both scratching for a victory.
Yeah.
So they're going to come out. They need a victory. We need a victory. So it's going to be a real good game Friday night. There's no doubt about it. And so hopefully we go down there and we're ready to play, and we start off the first half like we did the second half last week, and we'll be fine.
7 o'clock kickoff at Verdon Field on the campus of the Science, and looking forward to it, Coach, and good luck here tomorrow night.
All right, thank you.
You bet, Coach. Coach Travis Engen joining us from the Highliner football team. Back to wrap things up on Coach's Corner here on the Highliner Activity Network. Back here on the Highlander Activity Network, and Coach Clabo did drop in, but again, she's trying to get some students ready. You know, she's a teacher. She's a science teacher, so she's got to get some students ready for quizzes today. So, but I will talk a little bit about volleyball. Of course, the Highlanders have a couple of matches, and really night and day. You look at those two matches. A loss to Fargo South, lost 3-0 to the Bruins in the opening match last Thursday, and then here on Tuesday this week, they took on West Fargo. They lost 3-1, but boy, did they play some really good volleyball and played a lot better. You could see improvement from week one, game one to game two. In that first set, they were down 16-9, and I was going to ask Coach Clabo, they were down 14-9. She called a timeout, and what did she say in the huddle? Because then the Highlanders came back, went on a 16-4 run, and won 25-20 in that opening set after being down 16-9. And then West Fargo came back and won set number 2 and 3 and 4. But in set 4, that was a 26-24 final, and that was back and forth as well in that fourth set. But the Highlanders, again, played real well despite the loss. So now they have their home opener coming up tonight. So come out here to the Hack as they will be taking on Devils Lake. And again, 4:30 for the C Squad. And then in junior varsity around 5:45, varsity about 7:15. And let's fill the Hack here. And again, we'll have this on the Highlander Activity Network tonight here on YouTube, and then the Highlander Volleyball Tournament that's coming up this week in the Invitational. And you're going to see a lot of teams in that Class B, if not all Class B teams, are going to be coming to this weekend. And that's going to be teams that the Highlanders are going to see next year when they go into that 3-class system, and then like they have for basketball, and the Highlanders will be in that middle class. And so you'll see a lot of teams that they would see in that class that will be here for that volleyball tournament this weekend. So come on out. It's going to be a busy day here at the Hack, and we'll have coverage of that tournament as well on Saturday. And I'm guessing it probably gets started around 10 o'clock in the morning. But again, check it out here on the Highlander Activity Network on YouTube. We'll be back next week with another Coach's Corner. Again, new time and day, Thursday mornings at 7:30. You can check us out here live, or, of course, you can watch us anytime at your leisure. Going to Valley City Highlander Activities on YouTube, and we have a list of all our upcoming events. We have archived events that we've already had this year and in past years if you want to relive some pretty good moments of Highlander activities over the last 2-3 years that we've had here on the Highlander Activity Network. That's going to wrap it up here for today. My thanks to Coach Matt Nielsen, Deb Bilkey, and Travis Ingen joining us here on the show. And, of course, Brian Krewald, our executive producer, Ray Nelson, our camera operator and technical director here today. And, of course, you, our viewers. We enjoy that you've joined us whenever you do it, live on Thursday mornings, or whether you watch us as the day progresses. A pretty good way to kill a lunch hour. Sit and watch Coach's Corner on your computer. So we'll be back next week, 7:30. But tonight, volleyball, 4:30 C Squad, 5:45 JV, and the varsity at 7:15. Until next week, this is Paul McDonald, Coach's Corner, here on the Highlander Activity Network.